The following program is an opinion program. The opinions expressed by the hosts and guests of this program are not the opinions of the management, staff, and advertisers of this station. Please direct all criticism, concern, and adulation to the hosts of this program.
Welcome to Alabama Politics. This week I am Dale Jackson. I'm a radio talk show host. You can hear my show Monday through Friday from 5 to 9 a.m. on WVNN in North Alabama. You can also follow me on all social media platforms at the Dale Jackson. This close to 1 million followers. Just keep following me. That's all you got to do. With me, as always, Mecca Music. She is the CEO of 256today.com. Smart news for smart people. Smart enough to know that we should have done the Turkey of the Year last week, not this week. I'm just kidding. She wasn't.
We can still do it this year.
I told that. So for a parting shot, forget about that. Turkey of the Year at the end of the program. Stay tuned. Also, James Lomax will be with us. He is my mom's state representative, and he will be joining us.
And a lot of other people.
Yeah, other people too, but he's my mom's state representative. She's got some problems with him that I have to start handling. So James Lomax will be with us in a little bit as well. We got a lot to get into, so let's go ahead and get to the 2-minute warning. All right, Mecca, I'm going to tell you a quick story here before I jump too far into this. This weekend, my mother was at my house, and she was having dinner and eating my food, and she was telling me about the oath that members of the military take and why it's okay what these Democratic members of Congress were saying. And I said to her, I said, you know, I took that oath, right? Like, you do know that I understand that there's a whole thing there about unlawful orders and things like that. Yes, there is. The Seditious Six, as some are calling them, basically making the argument that, hey, you need to disobey unlawful orders, which is true, but the question is, why would you do this? What is the reason? Because people are going to turn to you and say, well, what are you talking about? And before I ask Mecca, though, why do this question that is on the screen, I do want to point something else out here for a second. I just want to go back in time. And this is going to be hard for you, so I want you to go back and remember the long ago times of about 4 years ago. And let's say that the then former president of the United States, Donald Trump, came out and said, oh, just so you guys know, disobey the unlawful orders. They're okay. They're not the best. They're fine. And he does all this stuff. Not very good, Trump, but it doesn't matter.
It wasn't bad.
Let's just say he did this. They would have lost their minds.
Oh, absolutely. But also, I don't think it would be that far off that scenario that you just painted from actually happening as well. No. Yeah. I didn't mean to imply it at all. No, and honestly, why do this? I guess being the question you're asking me, I really don't know. One of the things I wanted to ask you about, though, is did Trump obviously make this a much bigger deal than it needed to be? Don't you think a lot of people would have just ignored or not even paid attention to the video otherwise?
No, I think he did exactly what he should have done.
Okay.
Because he's made a big deal of this on his side. Because it's helping. I think this helps him.
Okay.
And Democrats, they had the shutdown, then they had the Epstein thing, and now they had this. You know, I've always complained that Donald Trump doesn't let issues breathe when they're benefiting him. This is a perfect example of this. The Epstein thing, they should have put this one in their pocket and put it out later. And listen, this is how you disobey an unlawful order, okay? You just say, I'm not going to do that. They arrest you, they take you, they court-martial you, and then that's when you have the argument. They're like, oh, you call your JAG officer. Go take the hill.
See, but
I need to call the JAG. Hold on. I got to call my JAG officer before I do.
You know a lot more about this than I would, obviously. I haven't served in the military.
Right.
But so it is okay to ignore unlawful orders, as you said.
No, it is not okay.
I'm sorry.
You can disobey an order, but you're going to be arrested and court-martialed for it. And that is where you decide whether or not it's unlawful or not.
Okay.
You don't just get to say, I declare unlawful, and then like a guy comes out and starts challenging the order. That's not how it works. All right. Moving on, let's talk about things that are awful. Awful candidates. And there's been quite a few of them lately. And we have seen it in Tennessee. Aftyn Behn, who sounds like a villain out of a Batman comic, is up there declaring all sorts of insane things and basically causing generational harm to Tennessee Democrats. We have those in Alabama as well. Jeremy Devito, a candidate running in the 5th District of Alabama, in North Alabama, running around saying forever and always, F ICE. These individuals are going to get a lot of traction in Democratic primaries. They're going to make moments and maybe challenge members of Congress, and they are going to cause harm across the ballot. Why can't Democrats in the South realize that you need Doug Joneses, not just at the top of the ticket, looking disheveled and crazy. You need him all over the ticket.
Look disheveled
you
and
need
crazy.
him all. There's a reason. Never mind. I'm not going to get into it. But the fact of the matter is, you need them all over the tickets. You can't have these radicals. And look, for the Aftyn Behn person, who people don't know, she is running around saying things, following ICE around, all this stuff, talking about how much she hates Nashville, Tennessee, the people that live there.
It's an odd strategy. That's a very odd strategy. Okay, I have an answer to your question, though.
Why can't they?
Okay, the answer to this question is because Democrats cannot. It's a very tough road for Democrats right now. Okay. So the kind of candidates you are attracting are the ones who want this attention. Be it good, be it bad. They want the attention. And so that's the sort of personalities that are really the only Democrats who are willing to run.
Okay, because they can't win, so you're just going to put people up who just want
not
attention.
all of them. I mean, there are, like Doug Jones, you were saying.
He can't win. He's not.
But you were putting him forward as a good candidate. Nearly, is that what you were nearly saying?
He's a least bad candidate.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
But here's the thing,
but you've got candidates like Marilyn Lands. I mean, she works a lot on healthcare.
But I can easily turn and say that's an abortion fetishist. Okay. I mean, I can literally.
Okay, that's
and say
not
these things.
appropriate.
Go read a record.
Not appropriate.
Here's the thing. Aftyn Behn. Here's a perfect example. I'm a right-wing nut job. I'm probably voting for the Republican in almost every single race, unless the name is Roy Moore. Right, so
that's a good.
Okay, hold on. Just listen. But Aftyn Behn could get people who are more moderate, people who are, she'd probably get my wife. Hold on, and then she stands up and they say, "How do you feel about children?" And she goes, "Well, I had a dream one time. I stood up in a cafeteria full of people." This is a quote, by the way. I stood up in a cafeteria full of people and I said, "I don't want children. I want power."
Okay.
That's just completely insane thing
It
to say.
It is. I understand what you're saying, that it's damaging.
Yeah.
It's damaging.
I should have done a Bane voice there.
No.
All right, moving on. Let's talk about out of Georgia. Something was dismissed for Donald Trump, the election interference trial. Is this where they were going to get him? Of course. That was going to be Georgia. That was the one they were going to get him. Also, some cases dismissed on the other side where they went after James Comey and Letitia James. So you had a bunch of cases dismissed and everyone declaring victory in their cases and saying the rule of law wins. But then on the other side, that is an abomination before God, and how dare they dismiss those particular cases, and we'll fight to the end, except on the Trump thing. The Trump one is over. The other two are not. I mean, that's the truth. James Comey, Letitia James, they are not out of the woods yet. And Trump says, I'm still coming. And all this. Lawfare is now the way of the world.
It is. It's wild.
Yeah.
It is absolutely wild. And this happened in relatively short. Don't you think?
Yes,
short term?
Absolutely.
For just a switch like that? So what do you think, though, the chances are these other cases, I know they're still going. Yeah. And look how long the interference case took to get dismissed.
The Comey one, there's almost a statute of limitations that's almost up because the Biden administration let him skate all this time on a whole bunch of different things.
Of course.
The James situation is different. There's a longer statute of limitations. You can do it. Now, Pam Bondi could also just say, I'll handle these cases and go there and try them herself, which is probably what she should do because of all the heat she's taking. But my point on all of this is a little different. They can say all they want. Wait till you get in power, we'll show you. And that seems to be like the Eric Swalwell position, all those things. It's like, you know why this is happening, right? As with all these things, I can't believe Donald Trump's doing this. We're going to make him pay. I'm like, Donald Trump exists because you talk like that. That's why Donald Trump is. Everyone acts like Donald Trump is like the disease. No. He's the antidote, and that's how we got here. He was a response to something, and then they went further to try to kill it. And he said, "Sorry, I'm resistant to penicillin." Is this sort of thing
where he gets stronger, though? Yeah, he just gets stronger and stronger. Yeah.
And now they're like, "Well, we'll get him next time." And I'm like, "Okay." But J.D. Vance is like waiting in the wings, and he's going to get you too. It's a never-ending thing. The only way for this to happen is one side to go, we're not going to do this anymore, just stop. But neither side is good.
No.
All right, let's talk about the filibuster here for a second. There's a lot of talk about doing away with it, and I've heard it for years that Democrats are going to do away with the filibuster for almost everything in order to get the legislation passed that they want. Now, when Donald Trump and Senate Republicans took over and they said, okay, we should probably do that. They were going to do it, so we should do it. And a lot of people who said, no, Democrats shouldn't do this, are they saying, go ahead and do it. Barry Moore is a perfect example. He's running for Congress. He's suggesting getting rid of the filibuster in order to get things done. Steve Marshall, the Attorney General of the state of Alabama, running for the same seat against Barry Moore, maybe Paul Feinbaum down the line. No idea what he believes on this. But now there's a battle over this going on in the United States Senate race. If I'm looking at this, I think Barry Moore benefits from this fight. He says, end the filibuster. But Steve Marshall's right when he says, hey, if there was no filibuster, Trump probably doesn't get back in office because Democrats change all the rules.
And there'd be so many things. Wouldn't D.C. be a
Whoever
state?
changes the rules is going to
win. Just all the things that could have happened if it had already been done away with. Yeah. What I find most interesting about this and this topic that we're talking about right now is it really shows a difference in the two candidates. And I'm not saying one is wrong or right. I think it presents Marshall as more the long-term strategist.
Yeah,
right?
I think that's right.
And Barry Moore's more shoot from the hip, and Trump said do away with it. And we know that Moore is a very big Trump supporter. And that's, of course, what he's going to say as well. So it's more like, what is your preference in candidate? What kind do you want? What kind of senator do you want?
Well, I think you have to look at what happens next. There's always this idea that if you do this, what are they going to do to it? And all they have to do is go back and look at Harry Reid. Harry Reid changes the filibuster in order to get some judicial nominees done. Mitch McConnell said, I'm going to get you if you do this. They did it anyway, and then Mitch McConnell got him. That's what happened. And that will continue to play itself out as long as you do it. But I also believe that eventually someone's going to do it. Someone's going to do it, and they're going to change the rules and the lay of the land, and you don't want to be the person not to do it. So you're going to have to see this debate for where it goes. Steve Marshall in this race, by the way, running ads with Donald Trump talking about what a great job he's doing. Radio ads across the state. I think they're very good. I think they're very good. They're running on talk radio. Those are primary
Are they on
voters.
your station?
Yeah, give me the money. Thank you very much. Not me. I don't get the money. But
no,
anyway,
those would be a very effective strategy,
they're
obviously,
great ads.
in Alabama.
They're great ads. That race is going to heat up significantly. James Lomax will be with us here in just a bit. He's a state representative. We look forward to having him on the program. And then Turkey of the Year, even though most of you have already had Thanksgiving, which, by the way, terrible holiday. We'll be right back. I know you don't like it. That's okay. It's Alabama Politics this week.
Fox 54 Plus is your streaming home for news from the world of sports. Get the latest scoop on Bama straight from the coach's mouth. Stream the Kalen DeBoer Show anytime on Fox 54 Plus. Live, local, and always on.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Scout Pest Control is your one-stop shop for pest control. We do it all, from rodents, mosquitoes, termites, to bed bugs. We offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee on all our services. When you think pest control, think Scout. ScoutPestControl.com.
Here's an important message from the U.S. Med Diabetes Solutions Center. If you have diabetes, you know the pain of pricking your fingers. But now, by wearing a small device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce your pain right away. Easy to use, it helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. Call U.S. Med Diabetes Solutions Center to learn about this groundbreaking new CGM technology. If you have Medicare or private insurance, call to see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no cost. Shipping is free and will even bill your insurance company for you. U.S. Med is the #1 rated supplier on Google and Facebook reviews. So call right now to see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no cost. U.S. Med. Better service. Better care.
At Elite Door Service, we're your local experts for all things garage doors, residential and commercial. Our licensed and insured team is led by a certified master technician. When it comes to garage doors, don't settle for average. Choose Elite Door Service.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. My friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.
Scout Pest Control, locally owned and operated. We offer superb customer service and can clean up after pests. When you think pest control, think Scout. Call us at 256-216-1088 or visit scoutpestcontrol.com.
Fox 54 Plus is your streaming home for news from the world of sports. Join the Fox 54 sports team for local highlights and insights. Stream Fox 54 Sports Extra anytime on Fox 54 Plus. Live, local, and always on.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics This Week. I am Dale Jackson, and with me as always, Mecca Music.
And this week we have State Representative James Lomax here with us. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Happy Thanksgiving. I hope everything is going well with your family.
The dinner was delicious. I don't know why you said it like
People
that.
have Thanksgiving all throughout the weekend.
By the time you watch this, Thanksgiving's probably over. Go ahead.
There you go.
Okay.
Good times.
Well, thank you for being here. Listen, I know, how long have you been in the state legislature now?
2022.
So are you a veteran lawmaker at this point, you think?
I wouldn't say yet. I mean, I'm still considered a freshman by all means, but we are going into 2026, an election year, and we hope to get a lot of things done for the people of Alabama.
I won't put you on the spot too much, but I would think you are kind of a new generation of young lawmakers, right?
That's fair. I mean, there is
and kind of leading the way.
Sure. Yeah. There is definitely an age discrepancy, and that's not just an Alabama thing. I mean, that's throughout the entire country. I mean, part of that is the massive time commitment that serving in the state legislature is, the part-time nature of it. Blessed to have a family that's very supportive of this effort, a young family, and that's one of the issues for a lot of young lawmakers. But I think it's important to have the perspective of being young.
Are you seeing more young people become more energized and more involved in the political process since you've been a part of it for a long time?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you can go back to, just involvement in city government. I think there's people that are more interested in what's happening at the local level. I think especially my age demographic, the millennials are now seeing how it affects them, right? I mean, you're dealing with school boards, you're dealing with city councils, you're planting roots for the first time. So as that age of home buyer has, grown to where it's now the average age, I think it's first time home buyer 38. These are the people that are planting roots, and they're finally really energized for local politics on a level that you haven't seen outside the national politics.
Well, let's talk about this election year. You have a session, and then you have an election.
Sure.
And it's usually a very interesting. You haven't seen it yet in an election year because you go in and you try to hit some home runs so you can go out and campaign on them, and you try to avoid the contentious things that you might get into some trouble out there in the campaign. I'm not speaking to you personally, but just as a whole, that's a broader thing. Gambling, lottery, that kind of stuff. Is any of that going to happen this session, you think?
I don't know, but I can tell you I'm working on things that are going to move the ball forward for the people of Alabama, whether they're controversial or not.
Okay.
This off season, it's been great to serve as the chairman of the task force looking at unmanned aircraft vehicles and how they're procured. Ran into a problem where we realized that 97% of state government, when they're purchasing drones in the state of Alabama, they purchase them from China. And the level of sophistication that Chinese drones have, the concerns about spyware. So we're trying to balance that with how do we make sure that we maintain safety and the application of these drones with also the security and making sure that our information is safe.
So the story there is that they're being used from China on law enforcement and all this other stuff, and there are concerns about that. You guys have to figure all that out. You're probably the right person to do that because of all the tech in North Alabama. But the contentious social issues, I'm going to hit the question again since you changed the subject on me. The contentious social issues, gambling, lottery, that kind of stuff. Is that talk going on behind the scenes?
I think it's one of those things that if the votes appeared, I think that would occur tomorrow. Because I think it's something that the people of Alabama deserve to have a look at one way or the other. So I don't think that the timing's necessarily, I don't think that they're looking at, it's an election year, it can't happen. I think they're just looking at, are the votes there to make it happen? And if they're not, I don't think it will come up.
Okay, there is one contentious issue that is making headlines now, and that's the SSUT tax. Let's talk about that. Well, SSUT, let's talk about that. And it's a very complex issue, but it has very far-reaching implications.
Yeah, it's ironic, Mecca. I mean, it's called simplified seller's use tax, and it's one of the most complex things that we deal with right now in the state of Alabama from a tax perspective. I'll be very blunt. I obviously live in the city of Huntsville, but I think that the SSUT is an outdated program. It's a 2015 solution, and we live in 2025 now. I think it's the closest thing we have to socialism in the state of Alabama.
And the reason you say that is because the counties benefit from it greatly. They take from all sorts of different situations in cities and places like that, and the online issue exists. And they don't want to give that up, though. You got to remember, the counties are benefiting from this. The status quo benefits them. Change is always hard.
Sure.
And you got to figure out a way to make them happy and also take care of everyone else that wants to get in on this money. We talk about the different municipalities. You see the stories in some of the media outlets where they talk about how because the way taxes are changed and things of that nature, that you have different funding mechanisms that end up drying up. And this is a perfect example. If you change the status quo, the counties who have bonded out money based on where the status quo is find themselves in trouble. So do you have to phase it in? How does this work?
Well, those are some of the things you need to look at. I think you got to nibble the apple first. I think one of the things is the DoorDash exclusion, right? So Dale, you and I could be sitting on the couch. I could pick up my phone and call the local Chinese restaurant, have my favorite, Mongolian beef delivered. You could get on DoorDash from the same restaurant. The same driver could deliver both our orders, and you paid into a pot that goes down to the bureaucrats in Montgomery and gets divvied up, whereas mine goes and funds local schools. I think that's an exclusion we got to take a look at. That makes no sense. When you're driving on local roads, the driver probably went to local schools, and those are things that benefit the local economy.
Is there an appetite to change it?
I think it's going to be one of those hard issues. Number one, like Mecca said, it's a little complicated, so it's not easy to boil down to a simple issue. It's one of those complex things that we have to tackle, and part of that's going to be explaining what the actual issue is and the impact it's going to have to school systems all across the state of Alabama. This is counties too, not just municipalities. Counties and small, big cities, everything.
Counties want status quo. Like the group of counties that come, I forget what they're called, but the group of counties want the status quo. There's some talk in the cities. They want things changed significantly. And I think this is a good fight that's going to happen, because I think you're going to have to figure out all these, because everyone represents a county and a city.
Right.
And then the more rural folks represent mostly counties and these smaller cities. So there's a lot of moving pieces on this that's very complicated.
If I lived in the county, I would want this changed. Because most counties don't have a direct sales tax. So if I go on the internet and buy something on Amazon, I'm paying 8%. Whereas if I went and bought it from my local Home Depot in my county, I'd be paying probably 4% in many cases. So you're looking at a tax cut for the majority of the people in the state of Alabama.
Yeah, okay, that's fine, but the counties are still getting the money from this, though. And that's why the leadership, and I'm not quoting leadership like it's not leadership, but that's why the counties don't actually want to make that change.
But the sales tax,
Look, it's a political fight. We're a supermajority Republican state. I think we have the ability to change things. Theodore Roosevelt, one of the godfathers of our party, said we deserve a square deal. This is as square as you can get.
Okay.
What's fair?
I think we're going to continue having this conversation for quite some time. The conversation we're going to have next is about the turkeys of the year, because Thanksgiving is over, and what better time to have it than after Thanksgiving? Right? Okay, good. Well, it's Alabama Politics this week. Dave Flomack's going to stay with us for this segment. Stay tuned.
Fox 54 Plus is your streaming home for news from the world of sports. Get the latest scoop on Bama straight from the coach's mouth. Stream the Kalen DeBoer Show anytime on Fox 54 Plus. Live, local, and always on.
You work hard to earn little escapes, because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay, and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Scout Pest Control is your one-stop shop for pest control. We do it all, from rodents to mosquitoes, termites to bed bugs. We offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee on all our services. When you think control, think Scout. ScoutPestControl.com.
Here's an important message from the U.S. Med Diabetes Solutions Center. If you have diabetes, you know the pain of pricking your fingers. But now, by wearing a small device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce your pain right away. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. Call the U.S. Med Diabetes Solution Center to learn about this groundbreaking new CGM technology. If you have Medicare or private insurance, call to see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no cost. Shipping is free and will even bill your insurance company for you. U.S. Med is the #1 rated supplier on Google and Facebook reviews. So call us right now to see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no cost. U.S. Med. Better service. Better care.
At Elite Door Service, we're your local experts for all things garage doors, residential and commercial. Our licensed and insured team is led by a certified master technician. When it comes to garage doors, don't settle for average. Choose Elite Door Service.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but it's important to have reliable transportation. My friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.
Scout Pest Control is locally owned and operated. We offer superb customer service and can even clean up after pests. When you think pest control, think Scout. Call us at 256-286-1088 or visit scoutpestcontrol.com.
Fox 54 Plus is your streaming home for news from the world of sports. Join the Fox 54 sports team for local highlights and insights. Stream Fox 54 Sports Extra anytime on Fox 54 Plus. Live, local, and always on.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics This Week, and against my better judgment, I have allowed Mecca Music to stay on one more segment than she ever does. It's probably not going to work out too well. But before we get into my Party Shot Turkey of the Year, whatever we're calling this thing, remember, going over to yellowhammernews.com right now. Sign up for my email blast, the 7 things you should be talking about today. All right, let's talk about Turkeys of the Year here for a second. And this is someone who is basically a sign of derision for you, who you're criticizing for their behavior this year.
And we do it every year.
Mecca, I'm going to let you go first, and then James, you can follow up.
Okay, and every year you might remember, I don't like doing people because that's too mean, and I'd usually pick a topic. It's usually gambling, and the legislature failing to find a comprehensive plan that will get the votes. But nonetheless, but this year I'm going to make a special exception and name a person.
Good, they deserve it.
And it's going to be Dale Jackson.
I do not deserve
for
it.
coming out and saying you are against turkey online.
Turkey is a dry, terrible bird.
Thank you.
If it's so delicious, how come 50% of it is consumed in the month of November?
Okay. No, I go and eat I get the turkey barbecue.
All right, we got about 30 seconds left here. You're wrong.
I'll be very quick. It's an organization. I love the media, but AL.com, not because they're slanted or have certain viewpoints, because I think they're reporting lazy. They recently ran an article about the effectiveness of legislators based on the amount of bills they passed in 1 year. So I guess next year I'll just drop 30 bills and change one little line or sentence or period.
Someone once told me
a good
legislator is actually about the number of bills they kill. They made that argument. All right, no turkey time for me. We'll be back next week. See ya.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
At Elite Door Service, we're your local experts for all things garage doors, residential and commercial. Our licensed and insured team is led by a certified master technician. When it comes to garage doors, don't settle for average. Choose Elite Door Service.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. My friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.
Scout Pest Control is your one-stop shop for pest control. We do it all, from rodents to mosquitoes, termites to bed bugs. We offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee on all our services. When you think pest control, think Scout. ScoutPestControl.com.